Hi everybody, this is Joe Salvamini. I'm principal of Carlson Home Hospital School, and I want to welcome you to the Supplemental Teacher Orientation video. We're now on Part 7, and Part 7 is about report cards and assignment grade sheets. Okay, assignment grade sheets. Basically, the assignment grade sheet is your documentation of basically your grade book. And what it is that you work with the student on. Each student needs. The important thing here is that each student needs to have at least one assignment grade sheet for each subject that the student is in. Therefore, most secondary students are taking 2 courses with Carlson, and you should have a set of 2 different assignment grade sheets. Now you might have to go on to, like, let's say for English, you might have to go on to page 2, for English, and maybe page 3 for English, but you should have, one set of assignment grade sheets for each subject. Okay, and let's show you this. The assignment grade sheet, basically you fill this information out up here. You've got the student's name, their school, and you've got the date, the assignment that you worked on the student with, and it should all be standards related, everything that you work on the student with. Any comments that you have here, the date that the assignment was completed, and the grade. It's your grade book. Okay. Report cards. We have separate report cards. Remember, we're K through 12, and we have separate report cards for elementary, as we do for secondary. And with Carlson, elementary students are considered students who are in grades K through 5. Secondary students are students who are in grades 6 through 12. Now, in most places in the district, that is standard. But there are a few schools where you might have an elementary school that is a K through 6 type of a configuration, and they consider their 6th graders elementary, but we consider them secondary. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to tell you is that the report cards, as many of our forms, actually all of our forms, the report card is available on the Carlson website. You just go to where it says Forms. And then another thing with the progress report, both the progress reports and the report cards, you want to make sure that you always in the comments box write something positive about the student. And something positive about the student is not where you say something like, if the student only was prepared for class, he'd do a lot better. Really make it. Think about this and really make it positive comments. That what you have on there. The due dates and reporting periods are for the report cards and the progress reports can be found in the report card document. Okay, now elementary progress report cards. Basically, elementary progress report cards are issued on a trimester basis, so therefore there are 3 report cards or progress reports. I guess at the elementary level they call them progress reports. There are 3 different periods, and we will let you know when those periods come up. But there will be 3 different periods where you issue the progress reports to the students. And remember, if you have a student for at least 2 weeks, then you are required to do a progress report on that student. And then when you send in, for each reporting period, when you send in the, when you send the report card in, make sure that you send in an original report card with the attention slip attached. Remember that pink attention slip that we showed you in either the last video or the video before? You make sure you put that on there, and then send 1 copy of the progress report. You want to send 1 envelope addressed to the home school, and then 2 copies of the IEP. If the student is a special education student or has an IEP, then you want to make sure that you send 2 copies of the IEP goal sheets for each trimester. Now I want to get into the actual elementary report card itself. First thing I want to point out, and I'll probably point this out when we get to the secondary as well, but the first thing I want to point out is that when you open up the document, it is an Excel document, and down at the bottom here you see some color coding. I don't know how much you can see on the screen here, but when you open up the document you'll definitely see it. You have red, yellow, green, and I think this is grayscale. And the red has to do with elementary, and we have the English version and the Spanish version. You have the yellow that has to do with, I'll get more into this on the next slide, but yellow and green have to do with secondary, and then the gray are like explanations of marks, but at any rate, over here what I want to point out, you need to make sure you fill all this out. The student's name, their grade, this Carlson student ID number, the CSID number goes here. Don't forget the LAUSD student ID number, the date of birth, and so forth. You want to make sure all that's filled in. We've got some boxes here that you need to fill in. And now, this is new this year. And that's where, in the boxes here, we have, when you click on the box, there's a drop-down menu. When you click there, you'll see, and this is very, I want to make sure I point this out because it's very easy to miss. So, when you click on this or put your cursor in this box and click, then you'll see this little arrow in that tiny little box there. Click on that box, and it will have a drop-down menu of classes. It'll say like grade 1 reading, grade 2 reading, grade 3 reading, grade 1 ELD reading, grade 2 ELD reading, and so forth. All the acceptable classes for that space or for that line. Right over here on the side it says reading, writing, listening, speaking, and math. So it has all those different areas listed down here. And so you'll click on the appropriate one. Down at the bottom where it says Reading AC, that means Reading Alternate Curriculum. For those students who are most severely disabled and are on the alternate curriculum, that's the reading class that you would click for them. Okay? Secondary progress reports. Secondary progress reports, like I said, are for students that are in grades 6 through 12. The progress reports are issued at the 10-week and 15 weeks into the semester. Some schools do 5 weeks. We don't do 5 weeks, but that's a permissible one. But 10 weeks and 15 weeks, you must do a progress report. And for each, and then we do a report card. So here's the difference here, by the way. Progress reports for secondary are done at 10 weeks and 15 weeks. The report card is issued at the end of the 20-week semester. So basically at the end of the semester, first semester, second semester. All right, and then again you send the same things that you did with the elementary into the office. I want to show you the secondary report card. Now, over here you got secondary report card. Remember down here you've got the tabs for elementary, secondary. This is, the yellow is for secondary progress reports, and the green, which you'd have to scroll over to the side to see the rest of the colors, but the green is secondary report card. Now, the main difference between the progress report and the report card are two things. One, what it says at the top. This one happens to be the report card. And the second thing is that the progress report does not indicate credits earned. However, the report card does indicate whether the student received 0 credits, in some cases 2.5 credits, but usually it's just 0 or 5 credits. Now, again, you'll have the drop downs, and you'll need to again look for that little, right there it is on this one. You click on that and it gives you the drop down of acceptable classes. Another thing I want to point out is that every single row needs to have either a class or this series of X's. Okay, so this student here, oh, Joe Salvamini. This student here is taking English 10A and Algebra, it looks like 1A. And so there's, the grades that I got. I'm hoping it's not a D, but it might be. It looks like it could be a B. And anyway, B, E, E, and algebra, I got whatever the grades are there. Now, for the remaining, I'm only taking 2 classes with Carlson. For the remaining classes, or the remaining rows, you need to make sure that you put in the series of X's, both for, not both, but for the rows here for the classes, as well as the cooperation work and all these different boxes here. Then what you need to do is to make sure that you on your hard copy, sign each of the lines, even the lines that have the X's. Make sure you sign them, and it's basically for security purposes and to make sure that students are receiving the credit for the courses that they actually earned, and that we make a conscious effort not to put in what it is that they haven't earned. Again, do the comments over there. And I think that's it on this one. Okay, I'll see you on video number 8.